Hey there and welcome to another Halo action figure review. Today we are taking a look at the pilot, and he comes with the Bulldog Shotgun. There he is. Just for anyone who's missed it in the past, there that is. A nice big picture on the back of the package, no cross sale or anything. All that information about purchasing and the barcodes are on the bottom. So without further ado, let's get this package open. And we're back. He's here and he's out of the package. And, well, let's take a look at the accessories first. He comes with the Bulldog Shotgun. It looks like this. It's got a couple places to hold it with the hands. On the flip side, there's a pretty standard peg that'll fit into the back. When I pulled this out of the package, it wanted to bend. You can kind of see the bow there. I've been trying to straighten it back out, but it doesn't really want to. Part of the problem may be of how it was put in the package. The soft rubber on these weapons kind of makes it easy pliable. And so in the package, if they get stuck in there a certain way, they're going to be there for a while and kind of creates a form. And I like the looks of the weapons, but I'm starting to get a little bit discouraged about these things. They are really soft, and I don't know if that was the plan. I don't know if there's a reason for it. But I'm starting to get discouraged because they're starting to not work very well. And I think someday in the future, some people are going to have a lot of broken guns. He comes with a figure stand. It's got two pegs, and it's kind of the dirt grass kind of base. Here's the dirt on this side. Look at that. But we've seen this at least once before with the Marine over there, right there. So yeah, cool little stand. You know, if the line's got nothing going for it, except for this, it's pretty good. I like these figure stands. And like all the other solo figures, he comes with a Halo Infinite code, or game add-on code, and when the game gets released next year, this will be usable. Now let's take a look at the figure here. His head rotates all the way around, and unfortunately he does have a bit of the same problem the white guy over here does, the Mark 7, in that if you turn his head too quick and you bump it on the shoulders here, it will come off. I really like the design of how they've hooked the heads together. I just wish it was a little bit sturdier. And so for that, I'm kind of disappointed. He's kind of a clunky looking figure to me anyway, but his head looks down, looks up, really pretty good. I really like that you can put it in just about any position, and even though it feels loose, like you can do it really easy, it feels like it's going to stay there. I like that. His arms will rotate all the way around. They both will. His arms will go up, or his shoulders will go up about that high. He's kind of off center just a little bit because of this patch over here. His elbows will hinge, or they do hinge, and will rotate all the way around. His wrists rotate all the way around, and they have a vertical hinge up and down on both sides. His torso, let's get his arm down there. So he has a bit of a torso wiggle, and he can rotate a little bit. One thing that's really interesting is, of all the figures I've looked at, maybe next to the Marine over there, is that this guy has a very defined cut at his waist, yet they designed it in such a way that the waist won't rotate. There's a little piece sticks down, and because this is an oval waist, it sticks down and it won't rotate. All they had to do was trim that piece off or not have that piece, and we'd have a nice rotatable waist. So it's a little bit silly that there's a cut here that you can't use. They may might as well have molded it like into one piece or something, because the construction doesn't go with how they're using it. I don't know. I don't know a lot about toy construction. It's just my little opinion there. If he's going to do the splits, he can take his legs up that high and about that far back and that far forward. He does have the hidden thigh rotation right here, I guess at the tops of his boots. So these are some leg straps, and they work pretty good. He's got the double pin knee joint. This side, on the outer side, seems to be hidden. I didn't notice that on the other figures. I'm looking at the other ones here real quick. So the Marine doesn't. I guess they didn't. I guess this is the first one that they put these pouches over to hide the top pin there. And by the way, on the left leg of mine, The lower pin rotates, but the upper one is stuck. I can't get it, so I'm going to have to throw him in some hot water later and see if that'll unstick him. Finally, his ankles rotate all the way around, and they have a hinge. So he goes back and forth like so. So overall, I mean, it's a neat looking figure. It's not dynamic by any means. He's just kind of a nondescript, well, pilot. And so, you know, this unfortunately, when you're trying to sell toys, you don't want to hear someone say, well, this could be a pass for me. And probably for me, just because he's kind of a more neutral looking character. He could be anybody. This might be a pass for me if I was just going out and enjoying the toy line. You know, these guys over here are kind of crazy looking, so those interest me more. This Master Chief over here is more recognizable, so that would be a get for me. This guy, the Marine, is just really cool looking. But this is more of a nondescript. This is something, probably a figure I would have thrown in with the Warthog over here as the Warthog driver. Or, well, hey, he's a pilot. You know, maybe put out an airplane or a helicopter or something and toss him in there. He might be, unless some of you really like the pilot and the games that much. But for me, this would be a pass figure, especially knowing the gun rubbery stuff, the head popping off stuff. There's not a lot selling me on this figure here. The gun does fit in his hand really pretty well. Well, okay, as well as can be. And you could put his other hand there and rotate his, and then he does something funky kind of like that, and we get a gun. We get the gun that bends with the rubber. That's what we get. And then finally I'll hook this on his back to show that it's attached to his back, but apparently it won't go in all the way. This one and the Spartan have problems. But while you're pushing this in, be careful. You might get more gun bend, because when you're pushing this in, it kind of tends to wobble it around. And of course, you want to be careful of that. And then, yeah, when you pull the thing off, and you got more bend right there, see? So I'm kind of going off today on the whole bendy gun, but I'm really noticing it with this one. And that's unfortunate, because this has a lot of potential. It just needs some stronger plastic. Not rubber, but some stronger plastic. On the head, it just needs probably a little bit longer of a barbell. I think the problem here is, well, there might be two problems. One, this might be too big for that ball. And the other is that barbell system might not be long enough. If it was a little bit longer, it could probably fake it for a while. But because it's the length it is, you know, one good turn and it pops off. And then again, you know, trimming the... I'm going to pop this guy apart. I don't purposely do this a lot, but let's pop this guy apart for a second here. Well, I had him apart. There we go. So if you notice, see, it can turn, but then it's got this that ridge right there all the way around. And so I guess I don't understand the purpose. Maybe it's expense-wise to mold this piece separately, but when you put it in there, it won't turn. I can go with my handy-dandy X-Acto knife and trim that off, or something to trim that off, and maybe I will. I don't know. I don't customize my figures that much. I think that's the right way. I think it was the right way. Sure hope it was the right way. That doesn't look like the right way. But anyway, then yeah, you pop this part right back on, and then you have a waist that doesn't turn because it locks it in well enough. I guess this is kind of more of a disappointing figure for me. I don't mean to have a negative review on something. I mean, he looks cool. He looks like a generic cool person that will pilot a vehicle. But unfortunately, it's just not quite there. And I think that's the negative sides that really down me on this one. The rubbery gun, the non-twistable waist, and the head that comes off. I know the white guy back here, Mark 7, his head falls off pretty easy. And none of them have twisty waist. No, that's not true. Brute Captain, I think, over here, if I remember right, his waist twists. Yeah, his waist twists. And some of these guns, like this one, doesn't feel quite as rubbery. That one does. This one doesn't. It kind of, it goes back and forth in, I guess, the quality. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's the quality control and putting these figures out during this pandemic. You know, that could be a lot of it. Now the vehicle, the Warthog over here, this is a really, really cool build. It's sturdy, it feels good. So I didn't mean to actually get into an overview here, but anyway, I guess I better drop it off now. I can do another video later on my entire opinion, or my opinion on the entire wave, series 1. So anyway, but that's for another video, I suppose. Thank you for stopping by. If this helped you out, if you found this interesting or informative, hit that like button for me, please. And if you want to be notified when more of these videos come out in the future, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon, and you will be notified when more reviews from either G.I. Joe, Fortnite, or Halo show up. Next year, we'll have a few more additions to the reviewing figure stuff, and you'll find out later what that is when they come out. So anyway, have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next video.